Hello beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be doing a makeup for glasses tutorial. So I know that wearing glasses can really change the way that you do your makeup, and I have a very specific prescription where my glasses actually make my eyes look smaller. So I have to do a lot to make my eyes look more normal sized when I'm wearing a pair of glasses. Now, these are not actually my seeing glasses, these are my blue light glasses, and the reason I'm wearing these and not my normal glasses is because I actually filmed this video twice. I tried to film this video with my normal glasses, and I have such bad vision that trying to control the camera and trying to do my makeup while I was all up in this didn't look great on camera. So I figured what I would do is film the whole thing with my contacts in and then put on my blue light glasses at the end. But for me, what's really important when I'm wearing glasses is one, that my eyes have a certain standout quality, and two, that my makeup doesn't get all over these. So today I'm giving you some tips and tricks to get a really beautiful look while you're wearing glasses. Let's get started. So I'm going to start off by putting on some primer, and lately what I've been doing is using a sponge to do this because I find that it gets this poreless primer really into my pores and just conceals those big pores on my cheeks and in my T-zone. So I enjoy using a sponge to do this. I'm also going to tap this into my smile lines and into my forehead lines. Now I'm just taking my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation and I'm just putting a little bit of that all over the face. I've actually been seeing for myself how much of a difference it makes when I don't over apply my foundation, because then it doesn't go into fine lines. And the fact of the matter is, most of us just need to balance out our skin tone. We don't need a ton of coverage. So if that's the case, it makes your skin look a little bit more natural, not to go overboard with your foundation. So I'm just tapping that out with a damp sponge. Now I am redoing my setup in here, and I'm trying a few different things. I don't know if you can hear, but I have a new microphone. Now I'm not sure if I like it yet, so we're trying it out and seeing what we think. Let me know in the comments if you like this better than what I've been using. And I don't know, I always feel like I've mastered something when I'm able to work with technology. I am not the best at figuring this stuff out, so doing some research and trying to find the right things is always a little bit tricky for me, and I feel like it's just hard. So I want to get your guys' input and tell me whether you think that my new mic is better or worse than what I had before. Next up, I'm just going to do a little bit of spot concealing. So I bought this L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, which I used to use under my eyes in a couple of videos, and I still love it for under my eyes, but it's so full coverage that I find it is fantastic for concealing blemishes. So I got one that's more similar to the shade of my foundation, because normally what I'll do is I'll use a concealer that's a little bit lighter than my foundation for underneath the eyes and to highlight certain parts of the face. Well, you don't want to highlight the parts of your face that have blemishes. So you want to find a concealer that's the same shade as your foundation, so it just kind of blends in with the rest of your skin. So I'm just going to go in with this little brush, and I'm just going in on the tip of this here, and I'm going to kind of cover up the little spots that I have. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the edges with my finger, this brush, and maybe a sponge. Now what you can always do is go back in with just a little bit more foundation over the top of that. This is what I do at least, and I'll just take a damp sponge again and just tap that over the top to blend it in even smoother. Tapping, not pulling, because if you pull, you'll move the concealer you just laid down, but if you tap, you're just kind of blending it in. Next up, I'm going to go in with this concealer. Now I put this in my 2019 favorites. It's still a favorite. This is the Instant Age Rewind, and I'm just going to put this underneath my eyes and in the inner corners, as well as a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my forehead, just to bring some light to the center of the face. Now, this is something that is super difficult when you're wearing glasses, at least for me. When I wear glasses, the first thing that's going to get messed up is this little point right here, right? Where your glasses are resting. Of course, the first thing that where all the makeup is going to come off is where your glasses are. So when you are putting on concealer, you just want to make sure you tap this in really, really well so that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to have these marks around your nose. Of course, you're probably going to have marks anyways. It's going to happen. But you want to give yourself the absolute best chance for that not to happen over the course of the day. So the first thing is that you actually tap out that first original level of concealer. Now this is what I would say is probably the most important step. You're going to want to take a loose powder or a pressed powder, but I find loose powder is better for this specific thing. And you're going to want to tap that in right in that inner corner just to set that down really, really well. I'm also going underneath my eyes, but the most attention should be paid to right in this inner corner here because the powder will prevent your glasses from sticking and pulling the makeup off. Instead, it'll just glide off as it should. So we're just going to set that down really, really well and make sure that it is just totally budge-proof. Now I'm just going to go ahead and set my whole face with the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder, and I am still obsessed with this powder. Oh my gosh, I bought this and I thought, we'll get this, we'll see if it works. You know, I have combination skin, so it might work well for my dry days, but then the days where I'm more oily, it might like not really do anything. No, it does everything and my skin looks awesome, and I'm obsessed with the way in photographs that my face looks when I use this powder. So let's move on to the eyes. Now, when you're wearing glasses, the biggest thing for me is that I want to make sure my eyes look as big as possible. Why? Let me explain. Different kinds of glasses do different kinds of things for your eyes. So my glasses make my eyes look smaller. Some women's glasses make their eyes look bigger, which is awesome. For me, it doesn't work that way. So I have to try and make my eyes look as big as possible without the help of glasses, which are doing the work to make them look smaller. So the first thing I want to do is I want to bring attention to my eyebrows. I want to bring attention to this part of my face and really just accentuate what is naturally beautiful there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows, and I recently bought, let's see if I can find it, this CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, and I bought it in the darkest shade. And I've been using clear for a long time, but I figured I would try something that's closer to my natural brown black shade, and I actually really like it. The only thing for me is that because I still have these little bald spots in my brow, I have to fill it in anyways, but this still gives a really beautiful hold and look to the brow. So I usually fill it in with a little bit of pomade first and then use this over the top. So for anyone who hasn't seen my videos, the way that I fill in my eyebrows is I don't do anything too crazy or fancy. As you can see, I have pretty thick eyebrows to begin with. But the first thing I want to do is I want to fix this right here because I have this little bald spot where my brow dips in. So I like to just straighten that out. And I'm just doing little hair-like strokes. And then I go through, and any spots that need just a little bit of help, I go ahead and fill those in too. And I elongate the end of my brow because I have rather short brows. So I like to just go in and add a little bit of length right at the end. And as well, one of my favorite little techniques is to take the flat side of the brush at the front of the brow and kind of push up. And that'll just give you a little bit of extra volume and color. So you can see there's a little bit of a slight difference between these two brows, but it's not a huge difference. I don't want it to look totally unnatural. So I'm usually just going for a more natural filled in look. Now I'm going to go in with this CoverGirl Brow Gel, and I'm just going to put this all in place. Keep it held all day. I have the funniest story for you guys. So when I was in Arizona for a wedding, I didn't bring my brow brush. I just forgot it. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, I had to get creative. So if you can guess what I did, I took the edge of my straight edge tweezers and I dipped it into my brow pomade, and I used the straight edge to draw on the little brow hairs, which actually worked, crazily enough. Now you can probably see I went a little heavy-handed with the brow gel in this eyebrow, so I'm just going to take a clean spoolie and I'm just going to brush that out a little bit just to get some of that off of my hairs, and I'll just even it out on the other side. Next up, we're going to dip into the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just going to be doing a neutral eye. I'm not doing something super colorful or crazy. I kind of want to show you what you can do every day when you're wearing glasses, but it's something that's going to accentuate the shape of your eye. So I'm first going in with this shade right here, and I'm going to bring that into my crease and just buff it out. Now I'm going to go in with this smaller fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into this color right here. It's just the one right directly below it, and it is just slightly darker. And we're just going to do the exact same thing. Bring it out on that outer corner, and windshield wiper motions bring it into the inner corner of the eye. Now I'm just going to take this darkest shade here, and I'm going in with this little brush. You can see I've already started, and I'm just creating a daytime smoky eye by focusing attention on the outer edge of the eye, which is going to make your eyes look very like pulled out and wide and very doe-eyed, which is pretty, and I think will make your eyes look even bigger when you're struggling against glasses. Now I'm just going to go back with this fluffy brush, and I'm going to blend this out so there's no harsh lines or edges. On the tip of this finger, I'm just going to dip into this second shade here. It's a very bright shade, and I'm just going to tap this on the inner corner and blend it out towards the outer edge. And this is just going to exaggerate even more that doe-eyed effect. And now we're just going to take this dark shade that we used on the outer corner of the eye, this dark chocolate shade, on a little shader brush, and we're just going to blend that on the bottom lash line, the lower lash line. Again, this is just going to make your eyes look bigger. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to get our eyes to look as big as possible when we're wearing glasses. And that's what this will do for you. And the next thing that you can do to help this even more is take this lightest shade that we started with and just blend that out. And you can do this messily because you're just trying to make it look as seamless as possible. Now here is what's really going to make the biggest difference. We're going to go in with this black shade on an angled brush, and we're going to do like a smoked out wing. This is going to be something easy that you can do pretty quickly, and all you really have to do is take the angle of this brush and pull it out from the outer edge of your eye to the outer corner of your eyebrow. So I'm just going to do that, and you can see I just drew a line. And now I'm just going to take that shadow, tap off the excess, and connect it to my lash line. So we're just doing little dashes across the upper lash line. You can redip if you have to into your black shadow. And we just connect it. And the nice thing about working with shadow is that if it looks a little messy, that's perfectly fine. It's not supposed to look as crisp as if you're using an actual eyeliner. Now I'm just going to take some of this shade here. It's very bright, and I'm just going to pop that in the inner corners of my eye. And you can see basically what we've done is we've played with shadow and with highlight. So the shadow is on the outer edge of the eye, and the highlight is on the inner edge of the eye. And that's just creating this really blown out, beautiful effect, and it makes your eyes look really big and wide, and I love that. Now I'm just going to pop on some mascara on my top and bottom lashes. So now let's move into the rest of the face. I'm going to go in with this Milani Baked Bronzer in number 4. And I'm just going to contour a little bit around my cheekbones and around my forehead. But I am so pale right now, as you might imagine, it is freezing in Nebraska. I am going to bring some around my face just generally, just so that I have a little bit more color on my face. And I'll bring some down the neck as well. Now I'm just going in with a little fan brush, and I'm just contouring. This is really a bronzer, not a contour, but hey, I think I need a little warmth on my face, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'm gonna follow that up with a little bit of my Butter Blush from Physicians Formula, and I'm just gonna add a little bit because I left most of my natural pinkness just available on my skin. I didn't put on so much foundation that it covered that up. And now I'm gonna go in with the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This has been like a YouTube sensation for a really long time. I mean, it's really inexpensive, which is awesome. But everyone was comparing it to the Hourglass highlight for a while and saying this would be like really beautiful for brides. And I do think this is really pretty. I'm surprised at how much I like it because I have so many highlighters that you would think that this wouldn't stand out. But I think it does in a really nice, subtle way. So yeah, I'm a fan. Now I'm just gonna put on my favorite lipstick at the moment, which is 900 Glossy Fawn, the color Riche from L'Oreal. And we're just gonna apply that. And now I'm just gonna put these on. And we're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Head over to my Twitter and Instagram and follow me there. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.